Hey everyone, welcome to another Takeometrics webinar. I'm Andrew Weber, I'm the Director of Insights here at Takeometrics, and really glad you here could join us for kind of the second in our series on DSP. And this one's a really timely one, obviously with Q4 kind of on the horizon, and really just I'm sure all of you are kind of starting to gear up for that already. So with me today, I have Sydney Ortega, who's our DSP lead here at Takeometrics, and Sydney was actually part of the team over at Amazon, and she helped kind of grow this product while she was over there before she came to Takeometrics. And again, the topic today is really just maximizing holiday sales with DSP. How do you use this particular ad product on Amazon to really just make sure you're going to get the most out of this upcoming holiday season, right? In conjunction with what you might already be doing in Amazon in terms of sponsored products, sponsored brands, etc. So with that, just to give a quick overview of Takeometrics, for those who aren't familiar, we're a technology platform SaaS product. And with our team of expert analysts, which you can, again, use our product just as software only. If you're if you feel like, hey, I got the handle, I want to have the hands-on keyboard myself, you can do that. Or, right, if you're maybe a larger brand or you want some extra help, we offer, right, expert analysts. Sydney's one of them on the DSP side that can kind of just help you really just maximize your efforts across both Amazon and Walmart. And again, you see some of our clients right here at the bottom. So just a quick rundown before we get started of the agenda. So first, Sydney's going to go through a really quick high-level overview of what Amazon DSP is, really key terminology you should be aware of, just so as we go through the presentation, no one's kind of feeling left out here. And then Sydney's going to go into really key trends you should be paying attention to as we're entering Q4, and really specifically, these are trends that should be impacting your strategy because they're top of mind, and they're something that, again, if you're just doing what you've done maybe last Q4, again, just knowing everything that's going on, you'll need to make adjustments, right? And to that end, really getting down to brass tacks, what are 4 ways you can use DSP this holiday season to just maximize your results? So really 4 ways, specific ways you should be using this. And finally, wrap up in Q&A. And on that last point, just remember, if you do have a question throughout the entire webinar, you don't have to wait till the end. You'll see a little questions bar drop down in the right-hand side of your screen. Just feel free to pop a question in there. And again, we'll get to as many as we can at the end of the presentation. So without further ado, just pass it over to Sydney.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Andrew. Hi, everybody. Again, I'm Sydney. I'm the DSP lead here at Takeometrics. We're going to start with a high level of actually what is Amazon DSP. Hopefully, a lot of you joined us on our first session a month or 2 ago, but if not, this will serve as a refresher. So what is Amazon DSP? Basic terms, it's just a way to reach Amazon shoppers with targeted display ads while they're on or off Amazon. The big thing here is that the off Amazon reach, right? We know people are not always shopping on Amazon, although we sure hope they do. They're doing tons of other things on Amazon. So how are we able to connect with them elsewhere using Amazon's data? So instead of purchasing an individual ad placement, i.e. the Huffington Post, through Amazon DSP, we're buying a variety of display ads on multiple websites with your targeting details in mind, of course. What this means is that we're really able to tailor the performance and where we're showing the ads across multiple different websites, hundreds of different websites on and off Amazon. What is Amazon DSP used for? 3 top things here. 1, most importantly, is shopper re-engagement, aka retargeting. I'm sure you all, as advertisers, brand owners, etc., have heard of retargeting. This is really the cream of the crop, right? These are people that have gone to your product detail page, they've engaged with your ad or your brand at some capacity, and we're really looking to convert them if they haven't bought from you before, or convert them a second time or a third time and really expand them into your whole product category. The second one here is expand your reach to new shoppers. We're going to spend some time talking about this today, as it's really important to broaden your reach prior to peak holiday season to really get those net new shoppers into your buying behavior before those key shopping days such as Prime Day, Black Friday, and Christmas. And then the third, audience-based targeting for display advertising. So again, we'll talk about this in a little bit more detail, but just to set the stage here, DSP uses audiences opposed to keywords like you're using for your sponsored product and sponsored brand campaigns. Audience-based targeting is beneficial to reach a broader audience and really understand people's unique shopping behaviors, opposed to them just typing in a specific keyword in the search browser. So DSP should be part of your larger Amazon strategy. Again, like Andrew alluded to, I've been an analyst for a very long time on the account management side. And sponsored products was the thing to do maybe 10 years ago. It still is a thing to do, and you still should be focusing on it. But the market's getting competitive. And it's really focusing on just the bottom layers of the funnel, so that like consideration and purchase part of the funnel. And DSP really allows you to take that full picture and take that full funnel and support it on just one ad product. So it's taking that full funnel support over the long term that's requiring both of the products working in tandem together. So we always like to say search and display work better together and really highlight and target different points in that funnel. So how Amazon differs from other Amazon ad products. Again, alluded to it before, but sponsored products and sponsored brands, right? I'm sure all of you are doing this. You're probably creating new holiday campaigns on sponsored products, maybe changing out your sponsored brands to highlight new products or the ones with the best margins, what have you. And that's all well and good. Again, it's a CPC priced auction. But the key thing here is it's keyword targeting. So we're really being reactive, right? We're waiting for a shopper to come on Amazon.com, type in a specific product, whether it's branded or non-branded, but they're really coming because they have a need, right? What Amazon DSP allows us to do is tap into that audience-based targeting. So we're really able to understand how that shopper has shopped with Amazon over the last year, so over the last 12 months. We're looking at what are they clicking on? Are they taking a really long time in that research phase? Are they adding products to the cart and then coming back a couple of days later to purchase? It's really all about that audience behavior. And I feel like if you tap into or just think about your shopping behavior on Amazon or elsewhere, getting those key reminders that you've left something in your cart or that you might be buying a new home and you might be interested in this product, that's really where DSP shines. Another thing I want to mention here is that it's a CPM pricing. What that means is it's a cost per 1,000 impressions. So we are charging, our DSP is charging on that impression. And why that's so valuable is it takes about 8 to 10 impressions for a consumer to even click on your ad if they've never seen your brand before. So while we focus on clicks on sponsored products and sponsored brands, that's one of the key metrics. We're really looking at impressions here as one of the key differentiators. An impression really speaks volumes because you're engaging with people that haven't seen your brand before and building up those 8 to 10 impressions before they actually convert. Another point I wanted to call out here is Amazon DSP on the Amazon side of things. There is a $35,000 minimum, and there is a reason for that. They've done a lot of testing through other advertisers and really thought that this was the minimum to really see performance and maximize performance. However, we don't have that here at Takeometrics. And one of the reasons is that advertisers come in all shapes and sizes, and their needs are all different. So we're able to work with you to possibly just deploy a remarketing strategy or just really able to customize it based on what you're spending on sponsored products instead of just having this flat out minimum. Because again, all of you on this phone, I'm sure, come from many different shapes and sizes and have many different advertising budgets. So we're able to really work with you and create a custom strategy. So how Amazon DSP differs from traditional retargeting options. So the DSP is not unique to Amazon, right? What is unique to Amazon and the Amazon DSP is that we're able to utilize the data, from Amazon rather than traditional cookies. So this is going back to what I was speaking about before. We're able to tap into Amazon's first party data, one of the largest shopping engines, as you know, and tap into all of that data and use it to create our audiences, which is really the bread and butter, the cream of the crop of DSP and the success of DSP. Access to on-site Amazon display inventory. This is huge. So all other DSPs, right, have the same access to the wider web that we do, but they don't have access to Amazon.com or Amazon owned and operated sites such as IMBD or things like that. So getting that first priority access to Amazon is huge. It complements what you're doing on the sponsored products and sponsored brand side of things. It increases brand awareness and just gives your shoppers more of that brand recognition that they're looking for. So you're able to tell your story a bit better with more of a cohesive advertising strategy. The third is access to target consumers who have interacted with competitors and complementary products. We'll get into this a little bit more. This is one of my favorites, especially in the holiday season. Basically what this means is we're able to go after our competitors. Your competitors are going after you, so why not go after them? Not in a dog-eat-dog world at all, but it's true. It's the nature of advertising, right? So we want you guys to be able to target your competitors or like products, and maybe put a product with a better star rating, or maybe your product is a little less expensive than your competitor's product. So when somebody is looking at that certain competitor's product, your ad can show up at that highest conversion point. Complementary products, again, this is just one of my favorite options that we have in the DSP. Let's say somebody bought new running sneakers. You're able to target them with socks. If somebody bought a new mattress recently, you're able to target them with sheets. So there's a lot of products, again, just think about your normal shopping behaviors that go hand in hand, but you need to get that complementary product from a different advertiser or a different brand. So we're able to really think outside of the box. Let's say, a cell phone, right? There's a new version of a cell phone that launches every other year. So we're able to target people that maybe have last year's version with this new year's version. So tons of different things we could do on that third point. And then the last one is ads can link to your Amazon storefront, individual product detail pages, or other web pages. So what this means, there's many different funnels or conversion points, I guess I should say. So if you're focused on retargeting, for example, we would want to drive that individual right to that product detail page, so that path to conversion is a lot shorter. But if you're focused on really gaining those net new customers, and you're really focusing on the consideration and brand awareness, why not drive them to your Amazon storefront, right? Really utilize that brand store that I'm sure you guys have been working hard on, and drive them so they're able to see your full product category. This is great for brand recognition. Again, your brand store should really mirror your D2C website, so it's a cohesive user experience both on and off Amazon, and just to drive traffic there. So getting into different retargeting types and terminology, again, there's a lot of different strategies we can deploy here, but the basics are pixel-based remarketing audiences. So we're able to retarget shoppers who visit your brand site. This is really important, right? Because again, this is the cream of your crop. These are people that have actually gone to your D2C website and not just found you on Amazon, maybe through a non-brand term. They're really invested and they're interested in your brand. So we're able to pixel your website and bring that into DSP retargeting. I feel like I get this question a lot. A lot of people or advertisers want to keep their D2C separate from Amazon, and that's totally fine. We're also able to exclude. So we can exclude people who have gone to your homepage or who have reached that thank you page on your D2C site, and exclude those users. So really you're able to see the incrementality of DSP on Amazon. Product remarketing audiences. This is retargeting shoppers who viewed your promoted products but didn't convert, right? So these are people that have gone to your product detail page, they've read the reviews, etc., and for whatever reason just didn't convert. Maybe they got pulled into a meeting, maybe they didn't need it right away, who knows? But this is the perfect opportunity to use retargeting to re-engage them. Say, hey, I know you were interested in this, and for whatever reason you didn't purchase, but here's a little reminder, whether they're on Amazon or off of Amazon. And then brand remarketing audiences. So retargeting shoppers who viewed other products of your brand but didn't convert. So this is looking at your whole entire brand portfolio. So whether you are, featuring one of the ASINs on your DSP, it doesn't matter. We're really looking at the whole brand. So if you're just advertising, maybe 5 to 10 ASINs on the DSP, we're really able to tap in and understand how that user has bought from your brand before and didn't convert. So really important, again, to tap into the brand recognition here and retargeting those shoppers that have viewed many of your other products in your portfolio. Prospecting, targeting options, and terminology. Again, this gets into my excitement of going after complementary products or competitors, etc. This is really where you're gonna get those net new customers and really get new eyes on your brand, right? Remarketing is great for people that already know your brand and convert those who didn't and really get them into your life cycle. But this is where you're gonna go after prospecting. This is where you're gonna grow your top line sales. By using these different audiences. So the first one here is in-market audiences, reaching shoppers that show an interest in purchasing certain products. I'll go back to that home buyers example. Let's say you're buying a new home and you're searching for kitchen appliances, bathroom things, living room decor, what have you. You're in this, we put you into this in-market audience. We know that you're shopping for tons of different things, and we're able to recognize the relationship of all the different searches, all the different purchase points, etc. Contextual audiences reach shoppers viewing a specific product or list of products. Again, this is getting a little bit more nitty-gritty, a little bit more granular, and reaching shoppers who are actually viewing specific products or a certain subset of specific products. So we're able to tap into that contextual audience. So in-market and contextual basically work together. In-market is a little bit more broad and contextual is a little bit more granular. So the audiences we're able to choose from are a tad bit specific. Lookalike audiences reach shoppers who look similar to your shoppers who purchased your brand. So again, this is going back to pixels. We're able to pixel your site, let's say your D2C homepage site, and create a lookalike audience based off that. So if you don't want us to pixel or really use that data from your D2C site and actually target that specifically, we can basically take that pixel and create a lookalike audience. So shoppers that mirror, shoppers that have the same buying behaviors as those on your D2C site. I think this is a really great option to layer in because again, it is a little bit more granular than just tapping into in-market audiences. Similar product remarketing audiences. So this is, think of the carousel that you see on sponsored products. So right on the Amazon, if you go to the product detail page of something, that similar products bar will pop up. Works similarly on the DSP, really the same way. It's really bringing in different products and reaching shoppers that are browsing products similar to yours. So again, that's part of the prospecting, the conquesting, the consideration phase, and just being able to showcase similar products there as well. All right, so that was a basic wrap up of DSP. Again, going over retargeting, conquesting, competitor consideration, a couple of the high-level audiences that we can deploy with DSP. So now going into Q4, it's right around the corner. It's essentially here. So a couple of trends to keep in mind when you guys are thinking about what you're going to do in the next 4 months. So this holiday season stands to be very different, no surprise here. With Prime Day, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all within 6 weeks of each other. I'm not sure anyone really knows what to expect, but the same strategy and thought process really stands true year over year. So we know that during COVID, there was a huge increase in online shopping across all different categories. I think it hit people very differently, but overall, whether you saw that conversion rate spike up, you probably saw an increase in impressions and clicks and just overall traffic. And we want to use that traffic, right? We want to use all of that traffic, all of those eyes that were on your brand and convert them during this holiday time. Going back to what I was saying before, those impressions are really key because again, it takes that 8 to 10 impressions for a customer or a shopper, I should say, to even click on your ad and learn a little bit more about your brand. So use all of that velocity that you had over the last couple months during COVID and capitalize on it now. And then there's the potential for a longer post-holiday sales boom. I always love to keep my campaigns running through the end of January because that's a time where people are buying as well. That yes, there's a lot of returns, but there's a lot of gift cards that people are using. People are buying gifts for themselves that they may have not gotten over the holiday times. There's so many different reasons to really capitalize on that January month and really capitalize on those post-holiday sales as well. So again, just going back to really what we've been seeing through COVID and the Amazon e-commerce world, sales are skyrocketing overall. So this is just a trend. If you look at the right-hand side here, of really starting in Q1 of 2019 and really seeing that trajectory upwards, even into Q2 of 2020. So this last Q2. It's not stopping there, right? We saw that through COVID. Nobody else really knew what to expect there. But again, it's using that data, whether you saw those high conversion rates or you saw that increase in traffic, really using that data and that increased velocity into the holiday season. So tips for the Q4 holiday event, Blitz is what we're calling it. So gear up for that search demand, right? This is going back to the audiences that we spoke about a couple of slides ago, that in-market targeting, that consideration. You want higher budgets now. You want to find your perfect customer and find them in the market who haven't searched out your brand specifically. And then you could retarget them later. So think about using September and maybe midway through October, not sure when Prime Day is yet, but really using this next month and a half to do some market research. So tap into those in-market audiences, those lifestyle audiences, and go broad with it. Definitely put budgets, but you want to test and learn now, so then you're able to retarget and capitalize on them when Prime Day hits, when Black Friday hits, all of those key holiday periods. You want to test and learn now and then capitalize when the time is ready. Another key thing here too is always on retargeting. This should be an evergreen strategy all year round. You constantly want to be retargeting to people who have gone to your PDP page, whether it's in your slow time of the year or your busy time of the year, whether you're in peak seasonality or not, you want to always have that remarketing on. You always want to be capturing the people that went to your PDP page for whatever reason and just didn't convert. So always think about that too. Obviously, you want to deploy it in Q4, but think about it after Q4, right? Think about it in January, February, March, and just as an always-on approach. You want to see that demand now so you can confidently step on the gas later. And again, go as broad as possible before the big day and week. What segment is converting the best? Are there classes of products working better with audiences than others? you guys know that your products work very differently, even on the search side of things. Some keywords work for some products, some keywords don't work for others. So same thing in DSP, you really want to test and learn now. And there's still time. There's still plenty of time to test and learn going into September and October, and then being able to capitalize on what's working. There's tons of different levers that we could deploy. There's different creatives that we could deploy. There's different inventory sources we could tap into. There's so much, but you want to start now so you're really geared up and ready for that Q4, and it's not a miss this time of year. So again, that way you know what targeting to push and what to pause. You want to use your ad dollars wisely going into Q4. Of course, many of you are expecting an increase of sales, but you want to be able to still maintain that efficiency and not have wasted spend. So really focusing on honing in on that ACOS and that tacos, whatever metric you're looking at, so you could control that spend a lot better and more efficiently. And then inventory is a lot more competitive now than it was even 5 months ago. So this is where we're just going to talk about budgets and how you could plan for this. Again, we're technically almost in Q4, but planning starts now if it hasn't already. So even without that, so even without how competitive we've seen it through COVID and how the landscape has really changed over the last couple months due to COVID, demand is high in Q4. So it's always going to be high. We should always look to increase our budgets if at all possible. I actually just got off with Amazon talking about just Prime Day and Q4 in general. And the general rule of thumb is to increase your budgets by about 200%. While that seems crazy, it's true. Think about it. Many advertisers, all of your competitors are really saving a lot of their dollars for Q4 for a very good reason, but that only means that there's going to be more competition and that normal CPM can sometimes double during the holidays. So to get that inventory that maybe you're getting in February or March, you might not get if you're not able to adjust your CPMs. Same thing in search, right? Your CPCs might go up a little bit because of the increased traffic, many of your conversion points. So just think about that when you're thinking about your Q4 strategy. What are the budgets look like? Maybe your typical 10K in retargeting budget might not be efficient to really capture that demand with so many eyes on Amazon and coming to the engine to search. So 4 uses for DSP during Q4. So case 1, supporting new product discovery. Newer products are very unlikely to rank organically on the SERP. Sponsored ads only approach can quickly get expensive on top terms during the holiday seasons. I've been seeing this more and more with a couple advertisers that I work with. CPCs are just getting really expensive. It's getting hard to rank on non-branded terms for many different reasons, just more competition, Amazon launching their own Amazon Basics, like what have you. It's just getting a lot more challenging. So tapping into an outside source like DSP or another advertising product that isn't so saturated is going to help showcase new products and really help get those reviews and ratings up that you all know is so important within the Amazon algorithm. So again, DSP represents a way to support your sponsored ad efforts to drive that sales volume. So it's getting your products in front of those viewers when they're on other websites and really utilizing the audiences to do so. Right, going back to, we shouldn't wait for somebody to come and search on Amazon. And while we need to be there and win those top positions and win those sponsor brand positions, really getting those new products in front of viewers wherever they are on the web is only going to grow your top line sales. And then most importantly, increasing that brand recognition, going back to that 8 to 10 impressions. Again, with so much competition and so much noise out there, especially in Q4, brand recognition is huge. So when somebody maybe doesn't know your brand, but they see that little Amazon logo off of Amazon, that speaks volumes. Their eyes are going to gravitate towards there, and then there's that one impression. So whether they only view that ad or they click on that ad, that you're still being top of mind, and you will be top of mind when they are ready to sit down and finally make that conversion. Second case here is broadening your reach for your top or high margin products. Again, going back to definitely look towards DSP once you've reached your diminishing returns. So looking at what you're doing on sponsored products and sponsored brands, what is performance like? Are you plateauing? Are you reaching your ROAS goals? Are you hitting that low ACOS? Are you looking for more sales growth? Have things kind of been steady over the last couple months? And think about it. Maybe they've been steady because you've captured all of that demand from people coming into search, and now you need to get net new eyes. You need to increase that brand recognition to drive people back to Amazon, or just to increase your brand to net new people. So it's particularly worthwhile in highly competitive markets. Again, going back to my famous stat here, that 8 to 10 impressions, it's really important just to broaden that reach, and broaden that reach now. Again, it's not too late to start looking at in-market segments, deploying a competitor strategy, et cetera, and really learn. You'll be surprised to learn if you do tap into in-market, what similar audiences may be pulled in. You know, I think as a brand, I heard this before, you know, as a brand, you get so pigeonholed. You're a brand if you're working for them, or you're the CEO, or what have you. That's the most important thing to you, but maybe not to somebody else. So maybe somebody does need that reminder every now and then to come back and read reviews and come back and understand why they viewed it in the first place, to then make that conversion. So being top of mind, especially in Q4, is really important. Capturing that in-market consumers from your competitors. Again, so this is looking at your competitors and that complementary product. So think outside of the box. I think it's really hard to do so in search, right? You're so keyword focused. There's only not a handful, but there's only hundreds of keywords you could probably go after that are gonna produce a return for you, right? And again, that's being a very reactive. You're waiting for somebody to type in those specific keywords. So even if a consumer hasn't heard of you, again, that Amazon logo can help lend that brand recognition to your ad. So it's reaching these in-market shoppers on Amazon and elsewhere. So again, even if you're a larger brand outside of Amazon, maybe you're not a large brand right now on Amazon. So you need this brand recognition to really increase your Amazon sales. And just seeing that Amazon logo along with your brand's name, those two together are really going to drive an impactful performance for the holiday season. So during the holiday season, it's easier to reach consumers who may be more apt to comparison shopping. Again, this is thinking outside of the box. So it's giving you an opening to reach shoppers as they go through their buying journey. So I always like to say, like, take a step back. What is your product about? Who's buying your product? What similar products could they be buying? What could that product that you're highlighting in Q4, what could that pair well with? And go after those consumers, go after those competitors that have similar products to you. I think it's a perfect strategy to showcase your product and really get those net new customers and introduce them to your brand and into your product life cycle. So this is particularly true for higher priced, high consideration items. Again, something to look at is look at your look back window, or look at your conversion rate window. From the time somebody views your product to the time they convert, what does that look like? If it's a higher price point, it's probably going to be anywhere from 14 to 30 days, if not longer. So while they're in that consideration time, you want to be serving them ads. You want to be top of mind while they're looking around and shopping around for other competitors. And case number 4, converting Amazon browser. So again, this is like your cream of the crop. This is what I was alluding to before, really your evergreen strategy here that yes, you should be deploying during Q4, but all year round as well. So DSP is particularly helpful for retargeting and repurchasing. Retargeting could be cart abandoning, gone to the product detail page but didn't purchase. Repurchasing, so do you have a subscribe and save model? Is there a new product, or is there an opportunity for you to upsell and cross-sell? Right? Do you have a new version of a product, so version 2.0 or something like that, that you're able to create custom audiences and go after those people that have bought from you before? Consider brand awareness plays, in particularly in the competitive market. So get your products and ads in front of the viewers when they're on other websites, and really increase that brand recognition to facilitate those later conversions. So DSP is a long run, right? It's a long game. We always say start broad and then obviously like hone in, and really understand who your audience is and who's converting at what time. And increasing that brand recognition now is only going to help you in the long run. So look to drive increased conversion rates. So again, somebody may see your ad 15 times before converting, but they will convert. It's being patient, it's playing that long game, and it's reaching those potential consumers where they spend most of their time both on and off Amazon. So we're really able to pull different levers, tap into audiences that are relevant to yours, using Amazon data, and really going after the people that are most likely to convert while broadening your reach. All right, so wrapping up here. So this Q4 again is all about effectively capturing boosted demand, and DSP helps you do that. So again, going back to, if we just look at 2020 alone, right, COVID happened around mid-March, and really since then, it hasn't stopped. Whether you, again, saw that increase in conversion rate or you saw that increase in traffic, let's use that data to capitalize on it in Q4. So whether you just want to deploy a remarketing strategy and capture all of those eyes that have gone to your product detail page but haven't converted yet, let's do that, and let's deploy a strategy. If you want to take it a step further and go into those in-market audiences or competitor audiences and tap into a broader market now, and then tailor that down to remarketing a bit later, let's do that and work on those top line growths and really get more people into your product life cycle. Understand what your goals are and how to align your campaigns, and have a plan for escalating costs. So again, going back to costs, again, campaign spend increases anywhere from 100 to 200% during Q4. That's where people are spending most of their budgets, and you want to plan for that. So you want to plan for those costs. You want to plan for those increased CPCs or those increased CPMs to make sure you're winning that inventory. And then aligning your campaign. So are you more focused on the return, or are you more focused on new to brand? So if you're focused on new to brand, maybe deploying a consideration or in-market strategy is more beneficial for you. Or are you really looking at that ROAS number? And if so, deploying a remarketing strategy and converting those that haven't converted yet is probably the best way to go. And then start gearing up now so that you can put those learnings into action during the Q4 Blitz. Again, I think a lot of us know what to expect coming this Q4, but then again, we don't. We have 3 back-to-back holidays, the highest shopping holidays, you know, in throughout the whole year in these next 3 months. So it's going to be big, it's going to be huge, and you want to continuously start capturing that demand now and capturing those learnings so that when Prime Day does hit, you are ready to act on it. Another thing here too, I just wanted to add is keep in mind inventory, right? So if you are thinking about deploying a DSP strategy and you think this is up your alley and something you want to do this Q4, think about your inventory. You're going to be reaching a much broader audience, getting net new eyes on your products when it's a busy time and a fast time to click and convert. So you want to make sure you have appropriate inventory. And planning for that, I think, is like the biggest and the first thing you should probably do to make sure you're planning for that. Whenever you're reaching broader audiences or maybe doing video or OTT or something, make sure you have that inventory locked and loaded. So when you are capturing that demand, your product is in stock and not out of stock. And that is all I had for you. So I hope you guys have some good questions. Happy to answer.
Yeah, thanks so much, Sydney. That was terrific. And yeah, there's definitely a few questions that have come in, and I encourage you, if anyone's thought of one now, feel free to get that in. We'll get to as many as we can here. Um, the first one I can take. I thought it was a very interesting question actually, from John, and he asks, and this is obviously top of mind now given the news, which is, do you think the new release of Mac OS 14 will have any impact on pixel retargeting on DSP? And I'm happy to answer that. So the around this question, and you'll see, right, Facebook in particular has made noise around this, specifically around their Facebook audience network, which, right, it's essentially allowing advertisers on Facebook, right, to show their ads off of Facebook. But specifically, Facebook Audience Network is really focused around in-app advertising, right? Those interstitials you might see while you're playing a game, for instance, or things like that. And that's specifically what this iOS 14 update is, or Mac OS 14 update is really focused on, is specifically in-app advertising and kind of really trying to increase the privacy there. But remember that Amazon DSP is really more focused on the web advertising, that type of inventory, which, right, that's governed by the publishers themselves and really won't see nearly as much of an impact as opposed to the in-app advertising. So that's a big kind of a point of differentiation there as opposed to Facebook Audience Network. Sydney, I don't know if you have anything to add there.
No, I think you went over the points. I think you, yeah, outlined it beautifully.
Great. So yeah, just a note there. And then next question is from Andrew. And he asks, can DSP drive a consumer to your brand's own e-commerce website for purchase?
Yes, so we can drive, that's called, so what I was really alluding to in this presentation is link in, right? Linking back into Amazon, but we can deploy a link out strategy. We always encourage to at least deploy a link in strategy, at least on the remarketing, right? So you're capturing that low funnel demand, people who have gone to your PDP page, but we can also deploy a strategy, maybe using a lifestyle image or custom creative to link out to your D2C site.
Great. And I think we have one more question. Again, feel free if anyone wants to pop in, but kind of the last thing was around budgeting, and it was kind of the question was more around how should I be thinking about my budgeting strategy around DSP, obviously given the minimums and everything. But I mean, do you see when people are, I guess to expand on this question a little bit, when you're kind of employing right, you've got a retargeting strategy, more prospecting oriented strategy. How do you see, generally from your experience, Sydney, like, advertisers kind of think about this in terms of how they split up their budgets, let's say if they're employing multiple strategies, or how does that usually play into their decision making?
Yeah, for sure. Again, I'm going to try to answer this as broadly as possible, but happy to help whoever asked this question. But it's really looking at your ad spend on sponsored products, right? So looking at that, and you're going to want to at least double that because you're looking at broader markets both on and off Amazon, right? So you're having that proactive approach and reaching much broader audiences. That being said, there's many different shapes and sizes. So we always like to say here at Takeometrics, while we don't have those minimums that Amazon does, a minimum of about 10K just to deploy remarketing works best. Now we're getting into the Q4 season, so take that right with a grain of salt, as many advertisers are gearing up and have deep pockets for the Q4 holiday time. That 10K budget is what we've found to be successful per month when deploying remarketing. And remember, remarketing has many different strategies under that umbrella. So it's not that we're just, deploying one type of remarketing, reaching, going after people who have viewed your PDP page. There's many different tactics that can fall under that one budget. And then as you get up in the funnel, you want to be putting more budget. So what I was alluding to before is starting off with in-market and retargeting in September. In-market audiences, put more of your budget into those audiences to really capture those new to brand, capture those new impressions, and really hone in on that brand recognition, and then tailor that down as you're getting closer to Prime Day or Black Friday, and maybe switch those budgets and heavy up on remarketing, right? Because then you've grown that remarketing pool from those in-market segments, and now you're able to flip to more of a conversion driver. So I would think of it that way. I hope that helped. Again, not one size fits all here, but by testing and learning and really seeing what works, having a sufficient budget for DSP is probably one of the most important things aside from that inventory piece.
Great. Yeah, I think this may be the last question here, but I thought it's a good one, which is this available for Amazon marketplaces for Melanie? And is this available for Amazon marketplaces outside the United States? Specifically, Melanie was asking about Canada.
Yes, yeah. So I'm actually working on deploying a campaign in the Canada market for the Q4 holiday season. So yes, Amazon does have different reps for Canada, but here at Takeometrics, it's all housed under us. So we're able to deploy in the US and the Canada, and I don't want to say many more, but I do know Canada is for certain.
Great, and I think with that we can wrap up just a little bit early here, give people extra time back, but hopefully this was a terrific webinar. And again, for everyone online, you will receive a recording of this webinar along with the full slide deck roughly 24 hours from now via email. So keep an eye out for that, and just hope you can join us again for the next webinar that we'll be doing next week around the news roundtable. We see a promo for that coming around early tomorrow. So thanks again, everybody, for joining, and talk to you all soon.